Doing something you enjoy is easy, but working hard at something you don't enjoy, or something that is very difficult, that takes discipline. We'll cover the power of discipline chapter by chapter, all in just a few minutes, and you can learn how to overcome laziness and push yourself to accomplish hard tasks. Let's have a productive life. Chapter 1. Self-discipline, the biological argument. The author introduces this topic by explaining that our brains are naturally wired for immediate gratification, a mechanism that helped our ancestors survive. Think about it. In ancient times, grabbing food the moment you saw it was a great survival strategy. But today, this instinct conflicts with our modern goals, which often require patience and delayed gratification. The prefrontal cortex, the decision-making center of the brain, plays a critical role here. It governs our ability to plan, focus, and resist impulsive behaviors. When you feel torn between ordering fast food or sticking to your meal prep, that's your prefrontal cortex battling older instinctive brain systems. One key quote from this chapter states, "The human brain is wired for immediate gratification, yet success requires us to override these primitive instincts." Another reminds us that your ability to control your impulses lies in your prefrontal cortex. Both of these underline how important it is to train this part of our brain. To improve self-discipline, the author suggests practicing mindfulness techniques, like pausing to reflect before reacting. Meditation and deep breathing are simple ways to strengthen mental focus. Another practical step is setting clear, specific goals. For instance, instead of saying, "I want to save money," say, "I'll save $200 this month by cooking at home 3 nights a week." With these tools, we can train our minds to make disciplined choices, even when our instincts pull us in another direction. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Chapter 2. The Benefits of Self-Discipline. The author emphasizes that it's not just a tool for achieving goals, it's the cornerstone of personal fulfillment. Without discipline, even the best intentions can falter when life gets chaotic. Think about how easy it is to get distracted from a diet, a study plan, or a fitness goal when other demands pile up. The author points out, success is not about motivation. It's about the habits you build through discipline. Motivation might get you started, but it's discipline that keeps you going when enthusiasm fades. By staying consistent and focused, discipline helps you resist short-term temptations in favor of long-term rewards. For example, consider someone who commits to running every morning, rain or shine. The first week might feel exciting, but by week 3, the alarm clock becomes a test of willpower. Discipline, not fleeting motivation, keeps them lacing up their shoes. To build this consistency, start by writing down your long-term goals and revisiting them regularly. Break those goals into smaller, manageable steps. If your goal is to write a book, start with a daily word count target. Finally, create routines that minimize decision fatigue, like preparing gym clothes the night before. When you reduce friction, you make discipline a natural part of your life. Chapter 3. The Status Quo Bias. Why we resist change. Change is hard, isn't it? That's because humans naturally resist change. We crave comfort and fear the unknown. This tendency is known as the status quo bias, and the author explains how it holds us back. Staying in our comfort zone feels safe, but it often means stagnation. The quote, "Change feels threatening, but stagnation is far more dangerous in the long run," is an important reminder here. Growth requires stepping into discomfort and challenging familiar routines. Think about starting a new job, moving to a new city, or even adopting a new workout routine. The initial discomfort can feel overwhelming, but it's often the first step towards something better. The author offers strategies for overcoming this bias. Start small. Introduce tiny changes to your daily routine to build tolerance for uncertainty. For example, take a different route to work or try a new hobby. Reframe challenges as opportunities for growth instead of threats. And regularly assess areas in your life where resistance to change might be limiting you. Maybe it's staying in a job you've outgrown or avoiding a conversation you need to have. By embracing these small, calculated risks, You'll develop the courage to take on bigger challenges. Change becomes less intimidating, and you'll find yourself growing in ways you never imagined. Chapter 4. A reality check. The Dunning-Kruger effect. This psychological phenomenon reveals that people with limited knowledge or skills often overestimate their abilities. In other words, the less we know, the more confident we tend to be. While it might feel good in the short term, this overconfidence can be a major obstacle to personal growth. The author explains this dynamic with the quote, "Confidence is only valuable when it is backed by competence." True confidence comes from mastering a skill, not just thinking we're good at it. Another important idea is that true learning begins when you admit how little you know. Acknowledging our limitations isn't a weakness. It's the first step toward improvement. To break free from the Dunning-Kruger effect, we need to develop humility and self-awareness. This involves seeking constructive feedback from trusted peers or mentors who can point out areas for growth. Think of it as holding up a mirror. It might not always be comfortable, but it's necessary to see where you can improve. Continuous learning is another key strategy. Whether it's reading books, taking courses, or stepping out of your comfort zone to try something new, you'll grow by challenging your understanding. Finally, take time to reflect regularly on your performance. Ask yourself, what went well? Where can I improve? With this mindset, you can avoid overconfidence traps and stay focused on becoming genuinely skilled. Chapter 5. Daily habits to improve self-discipline. Habits are the foundation of consistency, and the author emphasizes that simple, intentional actions done daily can lead to significant results over time. As the chapter puts it, your habits define your future, one small action at a time. But here's an important reminder. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about showing up, even on days when you don't feel like it. This persistence is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up too soon. The chapter offers practical strategies to integrate self-discipline into your everyday life. Start each day with a clear plan of action. For example, before you go to bed, write down the 3 most important things you need to accomplish the next day. This ensures you wake up with a purpose and a clear direction. Another tip is to minimize distractions in your environment. If you're easily sidetracked by your phone, put it in another room while you work. Finally, track your progress to reinforce positive behaviors. Celebrate small wins, like completing a week of workouts or sticking to a study schedule. These small celebrations will keep you motivated to maintain your habits. By creating an environment and a routine that support your goals, you'll find it easier to stay consistent and disciplined. Chapter 6. Tips for building better habits. The author highlights that building good habits isn't about making dramatic changes overnight. It's about small, incremental adjustments. As the chapter states, big changes start with small steps. Habits are built one day at a time. Accountability is another critical factor in making habits stick. When you're accountable to someone else, whether it's a friend, a coach, or even a community, you're far more likely to follow through. As the author puts it, accountability transforms intentions into actions. So, how do you put this into practice? First, consider using a habit tracker. Whether it's a simple checklist, a journal, or a habit tracking app, seeing your progress visually can be incredibly motivating. For example, if you're building a habit of drinking more water, mark every time you hit your daily goal. Setting reminders is another effective technique. Place visual cues in your environment to reinforce the habit you're trying to build. Want to meditate every morning? Leave your meditation cushion or app open on your phone where you'll see it first thing. Finally, find an accountability partner. This could be a friend who's working on a similar goal or someone you check in with regularly to share updates. Knowing someone else is rooting for you or counting on you makes it easier to stay consistent. By following these practical tips, you can build habits that don't just last, but also help you grow into the disciplined, focused person you aspire to be. Chapter 7. What is hindering your discipline? The truth is, many of us struggle with procrastination, distractions, and emotional triggers, and these can sabotage even the best intentions. The author reminds us with a powerful statement: discipline fails when distractions dominate. If we allow our environment or emotions to take control, it becomes almost impossible to stay on track. Another important point is that emotions can be either our ally or our obstacle. Think about how frustration, fear, or even boredom can pull you away from your goals. But when managed correctly, these emotions can fuel determination instead of undermining it. This chapter encourages us to identify what's hindering our discipline. For instance, if your phone constantly pulls you away from work, the solution might be to set specific phone-free times. Similarly, addressing procrastination might involve breaking tasks into smaller steps or setting stricter deadlines. Emotional triggers can also be managed through techniques like journaling or deep breathing, which help you process feelings without letting them derail your efforts. One actionable idea here is time blocking. Set aside dedicated blocks of time for your most important tasks and treat them as non-negotiable. Another is to track your distractions for a day or two. This will help you pinpoint the biggest culprits and come up with solutions. Remember, discipline starts with awareness. By recognizing and addressing these barriers, you can make real progress toward your goals. Chapter 8. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Growth and discipline often require stepping outside your comfort zone. But let's face it, discomfort is something most of us instinctively avoid. The author puts it bluntly: discomfort is the price of admission for a meaningful life. In other words, if you want something truly worthwhile, you'll have to be willing to face challenges. This chapter highlights how avoiding discomfort limits your potential. For example, think about how many people stay in jobs or relationships that no longer serve them, simply because the idea of change feels too hard. But every breakthrough, as the author reminds us, lies just beyond your comfort zone. To build your tolerance for discomfort, start small. Challenge yourself with manageable, uncomfortable goals. For instance, if public speaking makes you nervous, begin by speaking up in a small meeting. Reframing discomfort as a sign of growth rather than a setback can also help shift your mindset. Visualization techniques are another great tool. Imagine yourself succeeding in the face of discomfort, whether it's acing a difficult presentation or completing a challenging workout. This mental preparation can make the experience feel less daunting. The more you practice stepping outside your comfort zone, the more confident and resilient you'll become. Chapter 9. Focus on the system. The author emphasizes a crucial point. Success doesn't come from isolated actions or bursts of motivation. It comes from consistent, repeatable systems. Or, as the book states, a good system will take you further than willpower ever can. Instead of obsessing over outcomes, this chapter encourages us to focus on the process. Let's say your goal is to get fit. Instead of fixating on losing 10 pounds, focus on the daily actions, like exercising for 30 minutes or prepping healthy meals, that will naturally lead to that result. Focus on the process, and the results will take care of themselves, the author writes. Developing a system involves breaking down your goals into actionable routines. For example, if you're saving money, set up an automatic transfer to your savings account every payday. Then evaluate your system regularly to see what's working and what's not. Maybe you need to adjust the transfer amount or tweak your budget. Finally, don't forget to celebrate milestones along the way. Whether it's hitting a weekly goal or seeing your system pay off, these small wins reinforce your commitment and keep you motivated. Remember, systems create the structure you need to succeed, and over time, they turn discipline into second nature. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Chapter 10. Zen Philosophy and Goal Attainment. At its core, Zen emphasizes mindfulness and living fully in the present moment. The author suggests that by practicing mindfulness, we can enhance our focus and reduce the stress that comes from obsessing over outcomes. As the chapter states, be fully present in the process. The journey is as important as the destination. This reminds us that it's not just about reaching the goal. It's about appreciating and learning from the path we take to get there. Another key idea is that discipline thrives in a mind free of distractions and clutter. A cluttered mind often leads to scattered focus, making it harder to stick to disciplined habits. Zen philosophy encourages us to let go of attachments to results, which can be liberating. For instance, if you're working toward a promotion, focusing only on the outcome may lead to stress or frustration. Instead, staying present and putting consistent effort into your daily work can lead to better performance and less anxiety. Actionable strategies include practicing mindfulness meditation, where you focus on your breath or sensations to anchor your attention in the present. You can also use breathing exercises during stressful moments to center yourself. By avoiding fixation on results and concentrating on effort, you can sustain your discipline while maintaining peace of mind. Chapter 11. Meditation for Self-Discipline and Focus. The author compares meditation to a gym for your mind, stating, meditation is the gym for your mind. It builds mental strength and resilience. Regular meditation helps rewire the brain to manage distractions, emotional triggers, and impulsive behavior more effectively. When the mind is calm, discipline becomes easier. A calm mind is a disciplined mind. Meditation works by improving emotional regulation and helping us stay present. For example, imagine you're feeling overwhelmed by a long to-do list. A few minutes of mindful breathing can bring clarity and focus, making it easier to prioritize and take action. This practice is particularly valuable for handling high-stress situations without becoming reactive or scattered. To incorporate meditation into your daily routine, start small. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a significant difference. Guided meditation apps or videos are a great way to get started, especially if you're new to the practice. Additionally, focusing on your breath whenever you feel distracted can serve as a quick reset. Over time, these practices strengthen your mental discipline and help you navigate challenges with greater ease. Chapter 12. Why you should never try and do anything. The author challenges us to move away from the word try, because, as they explain, trying implies doubt. Doing reflects determination. When we say, I'll try, we leave room for excuses or half-hearted effort. Instead, saying, I will, signals a firm commitment to action. This concept highlights how the words we use shape our reality. Your words shape your reality. Choose them wisely, the chapter reminds us. Imagine you have a goal to exercise 3 times a week. Saying, I'll try to exercise lacks conviction, but saying, I will exercise 3 times this week gives you clarity and ownership over the task. The author emphasizes the importance of adopting a mindset of definitive action. To make this shift, replace hesitant phrases like, I'll try with confident ones like, I will. Use affirmations to reinforce your commitment. For example, I am disciplined and capable of achieving my goals. Lastly, take decisive action without overthinking. If you want to start a new project, don't dwell on potential obstacles. Take the first step and adjust as needed. By fully committing to your goals, you eliminate indecision and unlock meaningful progress. Chapter 13. Winner or loser? Which one are you? The difference, the author explains, comes down to mindset. Winners focus on effort and growth, while losers tend to make excuses and avoid challenges. It's not about how much talent you have or how lucky you are. It's about how you choose to react to life's obstacles. One of the most powerful ideas in this chapter is, winners take responsibility for their lives. Losers blame circumstances. If you want to succeed, you need to own your choices, your actions, and their outcomes. Another key insight is that your mindset is the blueprint for your destiny. How you think shapes how you act, and ultimately, where you end up. The author contrasts the proactive, solution-oriented approach of winners with the stagnation that comes from making excuses. Winners embrace challenges as opportunities to grow, while losers retreat into their comfort zones. This chapter encourages us to reflect on our behaviors and ask tough questions. Are we taking full responsibility for our successes and failures? Are we putting in the effort to improve, or are we waiting for circumstances to change? To adopt a winning mentality, start by reflecting on past failures. Where could you have taken more responsibility? Focus on effort and improvement rather than perfection. Progress comes from learning and persistence, not instant success. Finally, stop blaming external factors. Instead, ask yourself, what can I control? What steps can I take to solve this problem? Shifting your mindset this way can transform your outlook and your results. Chapter 14. Fall in love with the process. Too often we focus solely on the end goal, whether it's earning a degree, hitting a fitness target, or getting a promotion. But the author argues that true discipline and lasting success come from enjoying the daily grind of working toward those goals. As the chapter says, when you love the process, success becomes inevitable. The journey, not the destination, is where growth happens. Another key quote reminds us, the journey is where growth happens. The destination is just a bonus. This shift in perspective can prevent burnout and discouragement. If you're only chasing outcomes, you may find yourself losing motivation when progress feels slow or obstacles arise. But when you take pride in the work itself, you'll stay committed for the long haul. To illustrate this, the author shares stories of people who embrace the daily habits that lead to success. Whether it's an artist sketching every day or an athlete training consistently, they find joy in the effort itself. This passion sustains their commitment and ensures they keep moving forward, even when results aren't immediate. To apply this, identify parts of your routine that you genuinely enjoy. Perhaps it's the focus you feel while writing or the energy boost after exercising. Celebrate small wins to keep your motivation alive. And when obstacles arise, reframe them as opportunities to grow and learn. By falling in love with the process, you create a sustainable path to success. Chapter 15. How to make your negative emotions work for you and not against you. We often think of feelings like anger, frustration, or sadness as obstacles. But the author challenges us to see them differently, stating, emotions are energy. Channel them wisely. How you respond to pain or disappointment can either break you or build you. As the chapter says, pain can either break you or build you. The choice is yours. The key is learning to redirect these emotions into productive actions. For example, anger over a setback can be channeled into renewed determination to succeed. Frustration can drive you to find better solutions. Instead of letting negative emotions derail your efforts, use them as fuel to push forward. The author provides practical strategies for managing and reframing emotions. One technique is journaling. Writing down your thoughts can help you understand and process what you're feeling. Another is physical activity, which is a great outlet for releasing pent-up frustration or stress. Even a quick workout can clear your mind and shift your perspective. Finally, reframe setbacks as challenges rather than failures. If something goes wrong, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can it make me stronger? This mindset turns obstacles into opportunities for growth. By harnessing your emotions rather than being controlled by them, you build resilience and stay focused on your goals. Chapter 16. The Pareto Principle and Sturgeon's Law. The Pareto Principle, often called the 80-20 rule, reminds us that 80% of our results come from just 20% of our efforts. This means that not all actions are equal. Some have a far greater impact than others. The chapter urges us to focus on the 20% of actions that produce 80% of the results. Sturgeon's Law complements this by stating that not everything deserves your time. Prioritize what truly matters. Think about your daily to-do list. How many items are truly essential? chances are only a handful of them will move you closer to your goals. The rest are distractions that dilute your focus and drain your energy. The author explains how these principles can help us maximize productivity and avoid wasting time on low-value tasks. Start by reviewing everything you're working on and identifying the top 20% of tasks that have the most significant impact. For instance, if you're a student, studying core material or practicing exam questions might be your high-impact activities, while reorganizing your notes is less critical. Once you've identified these priorities, delegate or eliminate tasks that don't contribute value. This frees up time and energy for the activities that truly matter. Finally, schedule focused time blocks to work on your most important tasks. By applying these principles, you can achieve more by doing less, but doing it smarter. Chapter 17: How to Avoid Burnout. Burnout often comes from prolonged stress and an imbalance in our lives, and it can severely undermine both our productivity and well-being. As the chapter wisely states, self-discipline includes knowing when to rest and recharge. In other words, discipline isn't just about pushing harder, it's also about knowing when to pause. Burnout often sneaks up on us, so it's crucial to recognize the warning signs early. Maybe you feel constantly fatigued, struggle to focus, or lose interest in tasks you once enjoyed. The solution? Prioritize balance and self-care. As the author puts it, a well-rested mind is a productive mind. Practical strategies to prevent burnout include scheduling regular breaks and rest periods. Even a short walk or a 15-minute pause can do wonders for your energy levels. Setting realistic goals is equally important. When you overwhelm yourself with impossible expectations, stress quickly follows. Instead, break large projects into smaller, manageable steps. Self-care is another vital component. Whether it's exercise, meditation, or simply spending time on a hobby, these activities recharge both your body and mind. Remember, long-term discipline requires sustainable habits. By taking care of yourself, you'll not only avoid burnout, but also maintain the focus and energy needed to achieve your goals.